me, Sammy. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if you're new here. I hope you're having an amazing day, whatever it is you're doing. Welcome back to another Bake With Me video, guys. This time it is Easter themed. I'm going to be showing you a handful of Easter dessert recipes. These are perfect if you've got kids and they're off for the Easter holidays, you want to do a bit of baking with them. Some of them are super simple that they'll be able to do by themselves with a little bit of assistance. Or if you're hosting an Easter lunch for your family and you want some sweet treats that look adorable and are Easter themed, then this is the perfect video for you. I'm going to be showing you how to make cream egg brownies, mini egg cookie bars, mini egg chocolate nests, as well as 3 different ways to decorate a vanilla cupcake to make it look Easter themed. I absolutely love all the recipes in this video, and trust me, I've been making them for the last week and they all taste phenomenal. So if you do like this video, guys, please don't forget to smash the thumbs up button and subscribe down below. It really does help me out. And without further ado, let's dive into our first recipe. Starting off with an absolute classic of chocolate egg nests. Absolutely love these, loved making these as a kid and love them even more as an adult now. We're going to be using the absolute classic Easter ingredient here in the UK, which is Cadbury's mini eggs. Absolutely love these. We're going to be using those, some Cadbury's dairy milk chocolate and some shredded wheat and some cupcake cases. That's all we need for this recipe, guys. So let's dive in and start making them. First up, we need 200 grams of milk chocolate broken into pieces in one bowl, and then we need 85 grams of shredded wheat broken up into a separate bowl. That's all our shredded wheat crushed up to look like the little twigs for our nest, and this is our chocolate all broken up into pieces. What we're going to do now is microwave this chocolate in little 20-second bursts until it's all melted. Now that's all melted, we're just going to tip our chocolate into our shredded wheat and mix that all together. And it should look a little something like this, which is starting to resemble a bird's nest, which is super cute. I've just lined our little cupcake tin with 6 cupcake cases. I am going to be making 6 big ones, or you can make 12 small ones out of this mixture, or of course you can double the quantities if you want to make double the amount. But I'm going to be making 6 large nests today, so now I'm going to just spoon this into each of the cupcake cases. Now that we've put our mixture into these 6 cupcake cases, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the back of my tablespoon measurer because it's like a really nice shape, and we're just going to gently press this into the center of each one to create our little nest shapes. Just like that, and our final step is to add 3 little mini eggs into each one of our nests. And that is our mini egg nests all prepared. All we have to do now, guys, is set this in the fridge for an hour or 2 and then they're going to be ready. And these are our little mini egg nests all set and ready to go. These look absolutely delicious. I can't wait to make these again with the kids for Easter. Of course, I am pre-making these ahead of Easter to show you guys the different recipes, but this is a firm favourite in my family to make every year with the kids. It's super easy. They love to pick the little eggs that they want to go in the middle. And yeah, guys, that is our classic chocolate nests, all ready to go and ready to eat. Another great recipe that includes Cadbury mini eggs is mini egg cookie tray bakes. Absolutely love these. It's basically making a giant thick cookie filled with mini eggs and chocolate chips. It's absolutely delicious. Let's quickly run through the ingredients. So for this, we're going to need some corn flour and some table salt, some bicarbonate of soda and some plain flour. I have gluten-free in my cupboard, but you can just use regular plain flour if you like. And we're going to be using a little bit of caster sugar and a little bit of light brown sugar. You can use unsalted butter, or you can use a butter alternative baking spread like this Best for Baking by Asda. And then I'm going to be using 1 egg and some vanilla extract, as well as some chocolate chip cookies and some mini eggs. We're going to go through weights and measurements as we go through this recipe. This is going to make enough for an 8-inch square tin. I'm using my silicone one here, which is amazing. I love it for everything I do. And yeah, guys, let's dive into the baking. First step is to preheat our oven to gas mark 5. First up, for our dry bowl, we're going to add these 4 ingredients. So we're going to add 275 grams of plain flour, 1 teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda, half a teaspoon of table salt and a tablespoon of corn flour. That's all going to go into this bowl now. Now what we're going to do is just whisk all of these together so they're evenly distributed amongst the dry ingredients. I'm just going to set that aside for a moment. Now into a larger bowl, we're going to measure 115 grams of either unsalted butter or a butter alternative like this baking spread. Now we're just going to melt this in the microwave quickly by doing 10-second bursts until it's all melted. Now that that's all melted, we're going to be adding 55 grams of caster sugar and 135 grams of light brown sugar. Now we're going to whisk this together for 2 minutes until smooth. Now to this we're going to add 1 egg and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now we're going to whisk this together again until smooth. Now that is all whisked and smooth, we're going to add our dry ingredients, 100 grams of milk chocolate chips, and then 3 bags, which are 80 grams each of Cadbury's mini eggs, but we are actually going to reserve a little handful for decoration at the end, but the rest of these are all going to go into here now. Now I'm going to mix this all together with a wooden spoon until a thick cookie dough is formed. This looks so yummy, I can't even begin to explain. What we're going to do now, guys, is put our mixture into our cake tin. Now for our final step, the little handful of mini eggs that we reserved, we're just going to place on the top now for decoration. And that's it ready, guys. It looks so delicious already. I cannot wait to eat this later on. And we're going to pop this in the oven now for 18 to 22 minutes on gas mark 5. And what we want to do is we want to make sure that the cookie's looking dry on top. That's how we're going to know it's ready. And yeah, let's pop this in the oven. That is our cookie tray bake out of the oven. Now all we need to do is wait for this to cool down and we can slice and serve it later on. This is our mini egg cookie bars complete, guys. I've chopped them up into big chunky pieces, but you can put them into smaller pieces if you prefer to serve them up smaller. Absolutely love these. I've dotted some extra little mini eggs around to give it a bit of colour, because sometimes they do lose a bit of their colour as they're cooking, so I've dotted some around just to add a little bit more vibrancy. So if you're serving them on a sharing platter, this is one way you can serve it. And yeah, guys, just another great way of using mini eggs this Easter. Now another classic chocolate at Easter here in the UK is the Cadbury cream egg. Of course, it's a classic, and of course they are absolutely delicious on their own, but why not try them made into brownies? Now this is my cream egg brownie recipe. So excited to share this with you guys. Let's run through all of the ingredients that we're going to need first. So for this I'm going to use 6 Cadbury's cream eggs. We're going to use some dark chocolate, some white chocolate, some caster sugar, some plain flour. I'm using gluten-free, but you can use regular if you'd like. Some cocoa powder, some light brown sugar, some unsalted butter, and 3 large eggs. That is everything we need, guys, and let's dive into the baking. First thing we're going to do is cut all of our Cadbury's cream eggs lengthwise and pop them into a container. Now what we're going to do is pop these into the freezer so that when we bake them later they don't melt as quickly, and we're going to pop them in the freezer now until they're ready to use. We're just preheating the oven now to gas mark 4. Now we're going to put 180 grams of unsalted butter and 150 grams of dark chocolate, I'm using Cadbury Bourneville, into a saucepan. Now we're just going to melt these together gently over a low heat. Now into this mixing bowl quickly, while the chocolate and butter is just melting, I'm going to add 30 grams of cocoa powder, 140 grams of light brown sugar, and 140 grams of caster sugar. And when that's all melted and mixed together and smooth, we're going to turn it off the heat now. And while it's off the heat but still warm in the pan, we're going to add our sugars and our cocoa powder now to this, and we're going to mix it until it's well combined and smooth. Now it's looking like this and looking so tasty, and we're going to now transfer this to a mixing bowl just like so. And what we're going to do is we're just going to leave that aside for 5 minutes just to allow it to cool slightly. Now that that's cooled slightly, we're going to add our eggs, and we're going to add these one at a time, beating in between each one. Now that's the eggs incorporated, we're just going to add 110 grams of plain flour and a pinch of salt now, and we're going to fold that through. Now that that's all folded in, we're going to transfer that to our baking dish now, and this is my 8-inch square silicone baking dish, and yeah, we're just going to transfer that into here now. What we're going to do is pop this in our preheated oven now on gas mark 4 for 10 minutes, and then we're going to add our cream eggs. Now that the brownies have been cooking for 10 minutes, I've just taken the cream eggs out of the freezer and they've got a stiffness to them now. So what we're going to do is quickly, very quickly, take out the brownie from the oven, place these into the batter, and then put it back in the oven for 20 minutes. Just like so. Now this is going to go back in the oven now for 20 minutes. That is our brownies out of the oven now. We're just going to leave this to cool completely in the tin, and then we'll be back to do some white chocolate decorations shortly. Now that our brownies have cooled slightly, we're going to pop some chocolate buttons into a bowl, and then we're going to pop the bowl into the microwave for 10-20 second bursts until they're all melted. Just like that, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to drizzle this over our cream egg brownies. And now that we've added our little drizzled white chocolate, it is almost ready, guys. But what we're going to do now is just pop it in the fridge for 1 to 2 hours to make sure it's completely set, and then we're going to cut it up and serve it. And these are our cream egg brownie, guys. Gooey, delicious, oozing with Cadbury's cream eggs. Absolutely phenomenal. They taste incredible, by the way, guys. I have already tried a square. They are amazing. So yeah, cannot wait to enjoy the rest of these with my kids and make some more at Easter as well. Now, the last thing to show you in this video, guys, is my cupcakes. Now I'm going to be decorating these in 3 different ways for you today. I'm going to quickly show you what I'm going to be using to create all 3 of these. But of course, if you just want to pick one or just take some inspiration from it, then feel free to pick and choose which ingredients you're going to be needing. Of course, starting off with some vanilla cupcakes. Now you can just buy them ready-made. I made these myself yesterday in preparation. So what I did was I added some butter and sugar together in a food processor with eggs, flour and baking powder. Then I simply whizzed it up in my food processor, spooned it into cupcake cases on a baking tray and cooked it at gas mark 4 for 10 to 12 minutes. I will leave my cupcake recipe down below in the description for you guys to copy, paste, screenshot, whatever you want to do with it, just in case you want to know how to make your own vanilla cupcakes. And this is how they turned out. I doubled the recipe below to make 24 cakes, but if you just want to make 12, then just stick to the recipe down below. I actually only have 15 left because the kids have been eating them all day. Now for the decorations, I'm going to be using icing sugar and salted butter to make our buttercream icing. I'm then going to be using some green food colouring for one of the cakes. I've got a couple of piping bags with these 2 piping nozzles. This piping nozzle makes a grass effect, and this one is just a star to make sort of a floral swirl. And these little cupcake toppers are what I got from Asda. So we've got some Easter bunny cupcake toppers, and of course we are going to be replicating this sort of grass with the green food colouring and that piping nozzle to stick these cupcake toppers into one of them. So we're basically going to be recreating this cupcake right here, but with some carrot decorations on top. And then I've got some Easter sprinkle mix as well, just to create some plain basic ones with some sprinkles. And then we're going to be making some butterfly fairy cakes as well. So that is everything I'm going to need to create these cupcakes, guys. Let's dive into the decorating. And again, for 12 cupcakes, I'm going to leave the amounts of butter and icing sugar down below in the description for you guys. But for today, because I've got loads to do and loads of different decorations to make, I'm going to be using 300 grams of salted butter and 600 grams of icing sugar, and I'm just going to put that together into my food processor, and then we're going to zhuzh it up. I absolutely love, this is my Ninja food processor here. I absolutely love using this for all my cake batters and all my buttercream whenever I'm baking. Like, this makes your buttercream so light and fluffy, it's incredible. So yeah, can't go wrong with using my Ninja food processor. But if you don't have one with both the cupcake batter and the icing, you can just beat it by hand. And that is our butter icing done. What we're going to do now is just prep one of our piping bags with our star nozzle, and then we're going to get started doing our butterfly cakes. So to prep the piping bag, I've just snipped the end off of the piping bag and placed the nozzle into the bag. Now we're just going to spoon our icing into this end. Now that's our piping bag filled with our icing. Now to turn these into butterfly cupcakes, what we're going to do is use a small knife, and we're just going to cut out the center circle of these cupcakes. Just like that, so each one has its own little disc of cupcake. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut these in half now, and these are going to be our butterfly wings. Now we're just going to fill the holes now with some icing from our piping bags, just like that. Now of course, if you don't have a piping bag or piping nozzles or anything like that, you can just use a little teaspoon and dob some icing into the center of each. What we're going to do now is we're just going to use our butterfly wings and we're just going to place them into the icing to make them look like little butterflies flying. Now they're really starting to take shape. The last step, guys, is just to use a little mini sieve. We're going to pop some icing sugar in that and just sprinkle a little bit of icing sugar over the top. Just a light dusting like so, and that is our first Easter cupcakes complete. Next up is a super simple cupcake design. Again, we're just going to be using our piping bag, same icing as before, and we're just going to be doing some sprinkles on top of a piped cake. So let's pipe the icing on first. And again, guys, if you don't have a piping bag, don't have piping nozzles, and you're not able to do that, that's absolutely fine. You can just spoon the icing on and make it look all jagged with the back of a spoon, like however you want to decorate it. But I'm just going to use the piping bag now to create some rosettes. Now to create this design that I just have, we're going to put our piping bag directly upwards and we're going to squeeze into the center, and then we're just going to rotate around the edge of that and then gradually go up and in like so. And when we get to the top, we're going to stop squeezing and just lift, just like that. And now all that's left to do, guys, is add some of our Easter sprinkle mix from Asda. And that is those Easter cupcakes completed. The sprinkles are so cute. They put like little chicks and little blue eggs. They're so adorable. Absolutely love these, and the kids are going to go nuts for them. Now for our final cupcake design, we're going to need some green icing. So we're going to add some green food colouring now to the remainder of our icing in here and just mix it in the Ninja again. Now we've made this gorgeous mint green with our icing, absolutely perfect. Great pastel shade for grass for Easter. And I've just prepped my piping bag with my grass nozzle. So yeah, let's fill up our piping bag and get piping. Now of course, with this style of cupcake, it is the piping nozzle that does a lot of the work for us. But we just want to pipe and sort of drag up, making little grass nozzles. It looks so cute. You can sort of see the grass effect. Just going to keep doing that until we're happy with how our grass is looking, and we're just going to do this on all the cupcakes now. And again, guys, if you don't have a piping bag or don't have access of getting one of these nozzles or anything like that, that's absolutely fine. What you can do is you can spoon the icing, the green icing, still make the green icing, and you can use a spoon, pop it onto the top of the cupcake, and the back of the spoon, if you just tap it onto the icing, it will actually make little spikes, so it'll give a grass effect without needing to be this extra with a piping bag and a grass effect nozzle. Now for the finishing touch to these cupcakes, we're going to add a little carrot on each of the front. I think these are actually for carrot cakes, but they're in the baking aisle in Asda. And then we're going to add a little bunny wafer to each one as well. And that is our cupcakes finished, or bunny cupcakes finished. We've got our little carrots, and also I thought these were rice paper, like wafer paper, but they're not. They're actually like made of like icing, like sugar, hard sugar decorations, which are really, really cute. It means they're a bit thicker, a bit sturdier, and yeah, look amazing. I'm actually so happy with how these turned out. So yeah, let's pop all our cupcakes together on a cupcake stand and see our final cupcake creations together. And of course I have to be extra and have a cupcake stand because I'm always hosting and I'm always baking, so I do have this very cute flower cupcake stand, which is actually perfect for Easter, and it looks amazing with these cakes. But again, guys, this is perfect for if you want to have some fun with the kids and do a bit of cupcake decorating, or again, if you are hosting Easter lunch, how amazing is this going to look as a centerpiece for dinner? Or if you're having like a picnic style Easter, this is great as well. Yeah, I'm so happy with how all the different types of cupcakes turned out, and yeah guys, I'm so excited for Easter now. So that is it for our Easter bake with me. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I really do. I had so much fun making it, and I can't wait to create more content like this really, really soon. I hope you got a couple of good recipes that you can use out of this video at least, or at least some inspiration for what you want to bake this Easter. Thank you so much for watching, guys. It means the absolute world to me to have your love and support over here on my channel. Thank thank you again for watching, and hopefully I will see you very, very soon for another video. Take care of yourself. Bye.